What is going on, folks? What is happening out there, everybody? Welcome back. Greg Angello here with you on Planet One Radio on a Thursday afternoon. A Not as hot as it was a few days ago, but it's going to be getting much hotter as we get into the rest of this end of this week and through the weekend and through next week. I mean, I've not seen like regular scheduled temperatures at 100 degrees, 101. Sometimes you get 95 with the heat index, right? What it feels like, and it'll be like 105 or something like that. But when it's scheduled for 100, 101, that's kind of crazy. All right, so what is going on? So I have not been on video for a little while, probably for about 2, 3 weeks or so, and it's nice to be back with you all. The couple of things we're going to be doing some housekeeping. As you all know, on one of my last videos that I did, or at least a few of those before, I've been doing this transition into the artificial turf space with Southern Turf Company, which is a great company. This company, and we encourage you to go to southernturfco.com and check it out. They have an amazing platform, one of the best artificial turf companies that there is. What I love about this group is that it doesn't really matter uh, what someone else is doing; they want to do it much better. They have the top Google reviews of any company in this space out there. And we love that, right? Because the people who are calling up and wanting turf, many people already do their research, just like yourselves. If you're having someone coming over to have windows installed, or a painting company, or whatever it is, you do your research. You look at reviews, right? Where is this company listed? What are prior customers or current customers saying about this company? And this is really what is great about them. I mean, I've not finished onboarding yet. Okay, I still have another week to go, and I've already been out on 3 solo appointments. Now I've been going out during the week, probably about two appointments or so, about 2, 3 days a week with the person who runs the Charlotte area. Great guy, Jonathan. He's been in this space now for over 4 years. He was originally from Texas and got moved into Charlotte to oversee it, and great guy. And he had a point where he had too much on his plate. He had 2 appointments. He had some installs that he had to go to with the installers to make sure everything worked well. And he's like, "Look, Greg, I just don't have time for this other appointment. You got it. This is yours. Take care of it." So, um, obviously, when you're doing your first one, it can be a little nerve wracking, a little, but it's not all that bad. I've been in homes before. I've been in backyards before. I've talked about people having to do certain things for their property with listing their home to make it look better. And obviously, this is a niche market, right? So the artificial turf is obviously not so much a necessity. It can be for some people who really don't want to take care of their lawn, or they have, you know, really bad lawn areas. They don't want to water. They don't want to fertilize it. And maybe they're eco-friendly people, and this is what they want. So this is great because people pretty much already know what it is they want when we get there, and it makes what we do much easier as well. So I'm almost finished with that. I'm set to go. I'm already have a number of appointments that have already been booked for all the way through. I think the getting into the first week into the second week of August. All right, so that's how it is. We have a great platform. We have a great customer service platform that schedules these appointments for us. They do talk to the people. It's not like you're going out blind, just going up to someone's home and saying, hey, you saw it on Instagram, and here we are. It's They don't do that. They don't want to waste our time. They don't want to waste the consumer's time by just having people, just schedule things online. They have no idea, just to have someone show up at the home. So everyone is pretty much well informed, which is really good. What else is going on? So I posted on Facebook, on my regular Facebook page, that I've got two podcasts, video podcasts that I'm going to be doing. There is one who reached out to me about, I think it's been about 2 weeks now. It was through his media personnel people, and this individual is in the real estate space, but he's into appointment settings. I think he's written some books, or he's done a number of podcasts and other platforms where he basically talks about how using an appointment setter is beneficial. We'll talk about that. I mean, we've had those before. I've worked in a broker firm, where we paid a group of people to set appointments for us. Can be good or bad, depends, right? Depends on where they're at. A lot of the appointment setters that real estate firms hire, they're not in the U.S. They're out of in different parts of the country, and the time zones are different and all of that. So, and then find out really what it is that they're saying, right? And that's what it is. You just don't want someone saying anything just to get you in the home, and then you show up at the property and it's like, well, I thought this, or this person said this or that. So I'm going to ask them these questions because I've dealt with this before, right? We've paid people to get on the phone and prospect leads and set appointments, and it all depends. I mean, sometimes it could be hit or miss. And the other thing is about control. I don't want to use it in a controlling sense so much, but it's about, we're talking to the prospect ourselves to find out really what it is that they want, right? It's just not just a little bit of information, and then I go to the home and have no idea who they are and what their needs are. So, it'll be good. It'll be a good discovery to find out in the podcast. The other one that I've got scheduled, this one is going to take place before the other person uh, that is going to be doing the real estate one with me. This person now I've come to know recently through this industry that I'm in now. Um, and we've connected. Now, I don't want to give you too much of it right now. Don't want to lay it all out there, lay all the cards out there. Uh, we will let it all out on the podcast. We've been talking now. He is an actor. He originally was out of L.A. He's been starred in a number of different movies or things like that. We'll find out more about it, and more about him. But he's wide open about talking just about anything. All right, talk about what's going on with him in his life and things like that. And it'll be interesting. I use that word a lot. One of the words I use probably too much is interesting. And the other one that I've been working on not saying on on the video podcast is the word God. So, and that's the other one that I use. So there's a number of words that I use repetitively that I'm trying to stop doing. All right. So it's just part of who we are. Cleansing. It's a cleansing process, people. It's really what it is. So I'm really, really excited about having the guests coming on Saturday. We're looking to do it about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and which is earlier than this time. And I'm under a shade, by the way. I'm sitting on my outdoor patio stuff, not really a patio furniture, but outdoor furniture with an umbrella overhead. So I'm not in the direct sunlight, which is probably about 96 degrees right now. We had some overcast skies yesterday and today. It wasn't too bad, but where this press of heat is going to be coming from, I don't know. It's just coming. It's coming from all over the place. Now, I've also been connecting with business people, and this is a great process that those of you who are in your own type of business, you're 1099 self-employed, how do I get referrals? How do I connect with other business people? We can really identify what business you're in to try to help your business connect with someone else's business as a referral partner, or work together like this, right? Laid fingers over fingers. Instead of working like this, you want to work like this. So in the turf industry, any business person, company, individual who goes into a home and does some type of work, it could be painting, it could be pool cleaning, it could be house cleaning. Those are all great referrals for me to get into someone's home who wants artificial turf. So I went to an appointment earlier today with the person I've been following with Jonathan. It was a beautiful property in a neighborhood in South Park in South Charlotte area, and the homes over there are really really nice. We went there, and in the driveway was a company truck, company business, and the person is a dog doo cleaner upper. And that's a great business because there's a lot of people who don't want to go out and do that work, and they hire someone who will do that work, just like having someone hired to clean your home. So there's people who will come, they'll even come to your home and pick up laundry, which just clicked on me now. I got to find one of those people because there is a service out there that will come to your home, get your laundry, take them out, get them all done, and bring them back to you, right? Instead of you getting in the car and going out there, they do it for you. That is another good referral for a home business to work together in a home business referral platform. So the doggy doo doo scooper cleaner upper people are great for what I do because a lot of people that we've gone to, the homes that I've gone into over the last week or so, these are people who are looking to have artificial turf in their backyard and they're tired of cleaning up the doggy doo doo and the smell and the mess and the amount of damage that the dog can do to your lawn because your people are spending a lot of money on keeping their lawns looking nice. The one property I went to yesterday, the guy was telling me we had the army worms come in from the hurricane rain that we had last year. I experienced that as well. A lot of areas in Charlotte region, as well as other parts of North Carolina, I think, as well as South Carolina, and wherever the hurricane was going through, people's lawns were getting damaged by these infestations of these army worms who were just causing havoc on the lawn. And then you got to go out, and I've mentioned this before on another video podcast that it costs money. You got to go and you got to get the everything to clean it up, go down into the soil. You can't go out there, especially if you have dogs. You can't go out there for a while, things like that. And then there's no guarantee that your lawn is going to come back looking beautiful again right away or whenever. I mean, who knows when it's going to happen? So with us at Southern Turf Co., when we come in and do a new turf lay down, new lawn for you, there's just the number of things that we do. We just don't go in there and just, kick out your grass and lay it on top of it or lay it down. There's a whole process that we go through. We go about 2 or 3 inches down below the baseline because we want to get rid of anything that could come up in the future. Now, there are some best practices that we want our customers to do before an install, and a lot of it is about weed treating. Nature does what it does. Can we control where weeds grow? We don't. But can we do the best mitigation possible to have that happen? We can. And there's another of things that we lay down on top of that, microfibers below it. There's ones that we use for it's a antibacterial process for odor and for mold and mildew. The turf product that we use is basically has its own irrigation system in it, so water recedes usually about 3 inches per hour. We use a silica sand in it. We do a formal power grooming on the turf because the turf is going to lay a certain way on your property. And it's going to look absolutely beautiful. Now, we have a whole set of different turf styles. We just don't have one. They all have different names, right? Depending upon the region. We have some that are Charleston, some that are Myrtle Beach, some that are Destin. We have a Asheville Pet. We have a number of artificial turf that is specifically designed if you have pets, have dogs, and we also have the putting green surface, the very, very thin style. And then we also have some other turf which has a different backing if it's not going to be on a soil laydown. I just went to a business this past week. This individual has an outdoor bar. It's a very, very large. It's over 3,000 square feet. It's about 3,300 square feet. And he has some really old style call it it's artificial turf. It really doesn't look like it. It looks like just kind of like green carpeting stuff that's out there that's not even laid down. Now, I basically had a conversation with him and told him, this may be an issue with you, especially if you're going to you're serving guests outside and you have wide open seams. They're not attached to to the surface. They're sticking up. People could trip, especially women who are out. They're wearing certain type of shoes or wearing heels. They can trip and fall. I'm like, seriously, dude, you need to have a better. I didn't say that and call him, hey, dude. I told him that, this would be a much better process for you with what we do for you. Now, the way that the turf in and of itself goes out, I mean, obviously, you're not going to have like 1,000 square foot area with no seams. It doesn't work that way. In the turf business, the reams, if you want to call them, are basically 15 foot by 100. So every 15 feet, there is going to be a seam, but we work those in and it looks really, really nice. We have an edging system that we use. We have a bend-a-board system that we use because you could have curvature, especially around pools, right? You could have a whole serpentine design around a pool. And when you put the artificial turf in a pool setting, it really actually enhances the pool in and of itself and the water because of the green color and the contrast of the pool and the water and all of that. Now, we have a lot of pictures of that as well. So I encourage you to go to southernturfco.com and check it out. I did talk to all of them out there about talking about this stuff, putting it on social media and everything like that. We don't want to come across as if, it's my company. It's not. I'm just an advisor with them. And obviously, since I'm self-employed 1099, you got to speak about it, right? You can't just like sit around and wait for someone to ask you if you want it. Now, we do have appointments already being set for us. And I think as the summer is going to wind down at the end of August, it's going to pick up very aggressively. I have heard in one of the other markets, because I think we're in six, 7 other states right now, that one of the regions over in the west area, over I think it's Arizona or Texas area, they have appointments, installation appointments going on every single day of the week. That's how busy Southern Turf is. Okay, so that's what I got going on for you all right now. I will be doing, as I mentioned before, just got to get in the right mindset with it. It's been going through all of this process for the last week with onboarding and training to do the podcast on No Good Deed Goes Unpunished, part 2. All right. Now, I've been thinking about how I want to craft it and how I want to put that out there. And I'm going to tell you specifically an actual situation that happened to me right here in where I live and how that occurred. And one of the reasons why I actually talked about it is because of the response I got for helping someone in my neighborhood when I was just trying to do a good deed. Now, the conversation I want to have about it is how can we set ourselves up where we don't really have an expectation after the fact of doing it? All right. So I'm going to go through a different process about it. I'm going to have us sort of have a different mindset of how we can overcome any type of response that we get from someone when we go into a situation, try to help someone. It could be even a family member, right? I mean, even if you have, a lot of times this happens when you have a family member that has passed on. And it's interesting, and I'm sure that many of you have experienced this. I've experienced this as well. And it is a very emotional situation. But it's amazing to see the people, family members and so forth, that come to you after a loved one in your family has passed on that you haven't heard before. I mean, it's nice to get the sympathy and the condolences and all of that, but there's also, they want to know what else is going on. Now, sometimes you can go to someone and say, how can I help you in your time of need and this and that. And now, I don't want to get into all the weeds on it right now. So you can either ask certain questions. I think I mentioned this before on that one that I did. I do encourage you to go to my Planet One Radio podcast. I think it was, you look down into the video list and it does show no good deed goes unpunished. And basically asking certain questions like, what can I do and what I can't do? But even if you don't ask any questions and you just go in with a good-hearted sense and just want to get it done, how can you prepare yourself for any after effect? Could it be a tsunami effect? Could it be a hurricane? Could it be a thunderstorm response? Could it be, I didn't really appreciate anything that you did? Then how do you handle that? And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it from a couple of different views. That it doesn't really matter what the response is. It is what it is and just move on. I think that's kind of like what it is. And that's what I've learned. I've learned this in many different areas when I'm having conversations with people, especially in the sales market, when you're getting objections. And some of the objections are not very good. And we all deal with that in sales. It could be mortgage lender, you're talking to someone about it, real estate, insurance, selling cars is a big one, especially with car sales. It's huge because the time frame in car sales is so limited, it's so small. You basically have minutes in front of that customer to get them to buy that car. And once they turn around and leave the store, there's probably a 99% chance that you'll never hear from them again. Now, there may be a chance they do come back, but generally they don't. But yet the response is about, why are you charging me so much? And you're trying to rip me off on price and things like that. And you only care about your commission, things like that. So it's all about how we receive the response. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this on the next video, but a lot of it I've learned through dealing with my son and also in my marriage, in how we respond when you say something and you get a certain response back and you really weren't expecting it because you don't know what they're going to say. They're not giving you their response list to look down and look, oh, item number 3. Yeah, this is exactly what you were going to say. So here's my response. No. You don't have that information. You just receive it in your brain and then boom, you have a reaction to it. You have a verbal reaction to it. And a lot of times our reaction can be worse than what you're hearing from your child. Those of you who are parents, you know that when you tell your child to do something and they go, I already did that. Or I'm right in the middle of something. Or they come up with this, I don't want to do that. And then your response is, I told you to go in there 4 times already. Now, what happens is that it's the emotional level, right? If you look at it from like a Richter scale, right? They're coming at you here. And then your response is like, I can see it on the video, but you're going to be even higher than that. My tone now has got to be down here. When my son comes to me, when I tell my son something about, your room needs to get cleaned up, there's stuff all over the place, and he comes to me with a response that's up here. I can't meet him up here in that response because what happens when I go after him up here? He's going to be skyrocketed and he's going to get upset. He's going to get mad. He's going to start crying. Boys do cry. They do, as well as the girls do, but boys do cry. Not all of them. Some of them get very angry. They slam the door. They throw things on the ground. And we have to respond to that. Or do we? That's really the key. Is do we have to respond in kind to that response? That is the way I'm going to be looking at when you do it. No good deed goes unpunished. And somebody comes to you with the response, you're like, whoa. Maybe I should talk over here. I'm trying to learn not to get my face jammed into the microphone because I think it's picking it up from over here. I gotta look at my dial. I gotta look at my board dial and try to stay away from that. So because I really want to see you completely. I want to see your whole face. I don't want to see you over here hanging out. I want to see you right here. And that's what's going on. So I am going, there's a lot of other things that I'm going through personally with myself. And there's a number of videos that I've been watching. Jim Rohn has some as well about, he's got one about transitions, which I really, really liked, which is part of the one that I did before about the transition, going through a transition. It's not about, a transition is not a complete change so much of who you are. Because many times, obviously, I can't change my skin, but it's really the transition is the mindset. And a lot of it really has to do with the way we view things in the transition that we're going. And then obviously it's also from my own personal belief of it's more about my prayer life is what it's been. I think for me, like, as I am praying more, things become more easier for me. And that's the way that scripture has, God's word have set that out. The more we have conversations with him, I think the more peace that we have. And that is a great, great pathway in a transition. And that's another way to look at it. If that's what you do, it may be something that it's not something that you do, but maybe it's something that you want to think about and consider. Doesn't cost you anything to do it. It doesn't, folks. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for me on this one, on this video. I appreciate you all. One of the ones that I did recently, LA Woman Has No Boundaries. I like that one. That's the one that I did with John C. on Planet One Radio. I like it. I like the intro of it. I like the conversation we had about it. We didn't get deep into really crazy stuff, but we kept each other on the same sort of back and forth. We don't agree. John and I do not agree on many things, which is good. And I appreciate that. And I also think that on the video podcast I'm going to be doing with the gentleman coming in that I've met through the turf space, that we may not agree on everything either. And it's going to be insightful as well. All right, so that's it. I'm going to say arrivederci. We'll see you all soon. Planet One Radio, Greg Angello will talk to you all soon. Take care of yourselves.